barbecue? Well, of course you do, unless you're some kind of weirdo or wasn't raised right. So if you want to get some of the best barbecue around, check out P3 Barbecue. Our buddy David Estes does it up right, and he'll be glad to cater to your next event or just send you some of his award-winning sauce right there to your own doorstep. Go over and check them out on the Facebooks at facebook.com/P3 Barbecue or give old David a call at 901-679-3452 and tell him Whitey Jenkins sent you.
Hey guys, this is Wolfie D from PG-13. Check out my podcast, Live and in Color with Wolfie D, every Monday at noon. We're talking Memphis, we're talking ECW, WCW, WWF, everywhere that I've been. We even have some great guests, some Hall of Famers on the show with us. Every Monday at noon, Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Well, how y'all doing? Whitey Jenkins here, and welcome to another episode of the Whitey Jenkins Show. We got a big show planned for you today, as we got a very special guest. I'm going to bring him on here. We ain't going to waste no time. We're just going to get right down to business, as we got Terrell Moore. You may know him better as Dirty. How you doing, Dirty?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm doing good, man. How you doing yourself?
You know, I'm doing all right, I reckon. We here, getting by.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So what you been up to?
Nothing, just trying to get everything in order, by my house. I lost my house to a house fire December 19th, and I've been trying to do a lot of stuff, trying to get it back, dealing with the insurance, and that's a pain in the butt. Been dealing with them for almost a month, trying to get everything situated with that and stuff like that. And Brian, because I pretty much lost everything, and so I'm just steady trying to get stuff back like that. But I can't complain. I'm still here.
Well, man, I tell you what. I mean, you've taken it all very well, because I mean, like I said, you lost dang near everything. Important thing is, I mean, you're safe and your family's safe, but it's still, losing everything, and then, like you say, all the stuff that goes along with it, all the headaches of trying to deal with everything. But one thing about it, I mean, you're the promoter of OWO Wrestling over there, and over the years, you and Tony Dabbs and a lot of people have done a lot of good things for a lot of folks that's been through hard times like this. And now Tony and a bunch of us is getting a chance to return the favor and do the same for you. And so there's going to be a big benefit show coming up February the 5th. That's a Saturday. And tell us a little bit about that. Where's that going to be, and what details you do know?
Well, like I said, first of all, let me back up just a little bit and say that, I appreciate everybody, Tony and Neil, APW. I can't, leave them out. I mean, say they I appreciate it. So, can't go. I've been doing this
Man, we can't hear anything. You sound like a robot. We ain't been able to hear anything you're saying there.
Can you hear me now?
There we
go.
That's
I'm in better service area. Yeah, but anyway, like I was saying, everybody reached out about doing the benefit, so we kind of got everything, finalized now, and it'll be February 5th. At Smithfield, the Smithfield Gymnasium, and 7 o'clock. I seen Tony has got Tony, and along with EPW got a good card so far, and we got people like, of course, yourself and some of the violent gentlemen will be there, and we got Bone Crusher will be there, Easy Rotten, Hollywood Jimmy, We got Brody Hawk, David Andrews, Chris Styles. It's gonna be a pretty good card. Say so. I'm behind the scenes. First time ever, I'm really not actually involved in dealing with none of that stuff. I'm just I kind of get informed what's going on, and so it's kind of different for me because, like I tell people, I say I ain't, you know, even though I have been helping a little bit, but I ain't I ain't running no benefit for myself. So it's
Right. Yeah.
kind of different from this aspect. 'Cause no, most benefits always have a hand in where they're finding people or getting the information. It's kind of weird to me because I'm used to you know at least for the last 10 years, like I always have my hand in the show. So
Yeah.
I'm just sitting back enjoying the ride, I guess.
Well, I mean, a lot of people knock wrestling and wrestlers and talk about how, it's an ugly business, and it can be. I mean, let's be honest, it can be.
Hmm.
But I've always been impressed in these times when things happen and somebody in the business needs help in these situations, how everybody does come together and are happy to donate their time and come, try to do what they can to raise money and help folks out. And I'm glad to see this is another situation where I mean, every day there's people, getting added to the card, and EPW is not going to run a show that night, so their wrestlers can come down there and participate. So it's good to see, and like I say, you've been on the other end of this, many times over the
Hmm.
years, helping out, and so. How does it make you feel to see that everybody coming together, at such a rough time for you?
Man, it makes me feel good, and this is what I always this was I always like everybody kind of knocks wrestling, gives a bad name, but me personally, and like I said, I really ain't tallied it up until like the other day. I was just sitting around not doing that. But me personally, I have ran nine, OWO has ran 9 benefits in 10 years, and most of them have been fellow wrestlers and stuff like that, and so it kind of make you make you feel good and stuff. And so like I mean I appreciate everybody and their support. Even people that has already that had reached out to me. I ain't not necessarily money wise, but even the people that say, man, hope everything gets better. Hope that I'm not one to I got the house myself. I got my clothes myself. I bought it myself, so I don't really expect people to help me. And some people have went out of the way to help me. And people continue, and like you'd be surprised, like every day, like somebody doing this for me, doing that for me. I go here, I go to the gas station. People like, here, man, I heard your house burned down. Let me pay for your gas and stuff like that. So, just not this benefit, but it showed me a lot that people still care, and that's what I always try to pattern myself after. Try to help people. Not necessarily to get something in return, but just to it's good to help people. So, like I said, I'm grateful, like for EPW and wanting to do this. They got together with Tony and they were going to do this. I'm going to shut down and work together and put this benefit on. So I can't. I thank everybody. And the ones that might not be able to be there. People that just reached out to me.
Yeah, that's good to hear, man. That's real good to hear. And you know, another topic, you being a promoter, OW, how many years OWO been running now?
It'll be 10 years. And May the 15th will be 10 years exactly.
10 years, man. That's something else. So,
Hmm.
as a promoter, tell us what it was like and all that time during the pandemics that you couldn't run no wrestling, because I remember you ran a show there in Aberdeen where my friend Gene Jackson won the OWO title, and then of course he
Hmm.
went on to be the longest reigning OWO
Yeah.
champion. He won't let none of us forget it. He reminds me every day. But
Hmm.
he went on to be the longest running champion. But all that time, you couldn't run no wrestling. What was that like for you to have something that's been a part of your life for almost 10 years just taken away just like that?
Yeah, with the pandemic, and the thing about it is, for the last 3 or 4 years, I had sort of slacked down on running shows, and I was maybe running about 3 or 4 a year, and so I sat down a little bit before the pandemic, and I had because I was a lot of shows, a lot of possibility we were gonna be running different places and stuff like that. So I sat down. I said we're gonna, make a good run. I was gonna maybe have a show maybe every other month, start back like I was almost doing when we first started OWO. And then the pandemic hit, and it's like boom, that just kind of went through all that out the window. And so I just had to sit back and we was able to do New Year kind of like a little throw-in show for free. I just kind of do that, money out of my own pocket.
Right.
I did that show, and then like I said, then other than that, we did the Aberdeen show was like really the last show we really did. And then we turned around last year was able to have the anniversary show, and that was the first show in a year and what 6 months almost a year 5 months. However long Gene Jackson was champion, and we were able to have that show, and then we got kind of a little momentum going with the we had the show at the fair. We did one show, and then the next show got kind of canceled because people couldn't act right at the fair. Not the wrestlers, but the people in
Yeah.
general. And so, it kind of threw a damper on what I wanted. Before the pandemic started, it kind of, because like I said, we still had big. I was looking forward to trying to give a good stretch run, running shows, stuff like that. And so, and but you know, what it kind of affected me a lot. It kind of changed my perspective. But like I said, I'm looking forward to like I said, I kind of don't know what to do right now because I kind of before my house burned down, kind of was getting forward to maybe having some more shows and stuff like that because the pandemic slowed down, which now it seems like it's raging back up. But anyway, I was kind of looking forward to trying to get a couple more shows lined up and stuff, get a good stretch run before the anniversary. Had to do a big 10-year anniversary, but then my house burned, of course all the OWO stuff, not the ring, but like my belts didn't get burned, but they kind of got melted. So I have to, do stuff now. My PA system, all that stuff, all the stuff I had, you know, and
Yeah.
for the wrestling, all that got burned stuff. Only thing I, pretty much got was the ring. So pretty much having to, start over with that. So that kind of put a damper in, because, people don't realize, I was looking at everything, and it's gonna cost a lot of money to get everything back. The belts and even the PA system and stuff like that's gonna cost. It's gonna take time to do. And like when I first started OWO, I got the PA system kind of worked my way and bought. I had to buy everything at one time. So
Right. And you kind of got bigger things on your plate right now than get the
mhm.
wrestling back going again. So
Yeah,
it'll all come back around in time, and
yeah,
when it does, Shane Mako is going to be there ready to take that heavyweight title
mhm,
off of Brett Michaels. I can guarantee I'm tell you that. But we won't go there today. We're going to
mhm,
keep this light. Even though last week you was in the comments over there talking about Gene Jackson does a better podcast than me, which I didn't appreciate that too much. But I mean,
yeah.
I guess he
But
does all right.
yeah, well, like I said, man, that's the thing. Gene, you got two different type of people in Gene Jackson. The issue I always have with Gene Jackson is the wrestling part of the podcast. Gene's got one of the best podcasts around, so it's gonna be, I made a comment, and I stick with it that he got a better podcast than you because Gene's a good. That's what he does, and so I just made that comment. And like I said, I know Gene's a good friend of mine. I just believe the wrestling wise, and now that he's gone from OWL forever, don't have to worry about it. I just believe Gene's problem was he aligned himself with wrong people over the years and kind of influenced him on making wrong decisions, like being around Hollywood Jimmy and people like Izzy Rodden. And I don't think, I think Gene just aligned himself with wrong people. But the podcast Gene Jackson, I enjoyed, and I still enjoy him to this day. And so, I mean, and you could say I was trying to I wasn't really throwing shade at you, or even, Mike Thrasher said I was throwing shade, taking shots at him. I was just making a statement in general. Gene got one of the best podcasts around North Mississippi, and I just, North Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee area, and that just fact. And so, but if you up and coming, I'll give you a chance. I ain't gonna rule you out on your little podcast stuff, whatever. So, but you ain't made a Gene Jackson level yet. So Just telling you that.
Well, I mean, maybe one day I can. I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
People are always tying me in with him. That's just why I got frustrated. You bring up Gene Jackson because all them damn EPW people try to say that I'm Gene Jackson, which is ridiculous. Which is absolutely ridiculous. If you watch EPW television right now, Hollywood Jimmy is in the process of proving to Neil Taylor that me and Gene Jackson are definitely two different people. Which, I mean, if you look, I got long hair. I'm handsome. Gene's a
I don't
big
know about
fat
that,
bald headed guy. I mean,
yeah.
we don't look nothing alike. We don't sound nothing alike. I drink and smoke and cuss. He don't do well. He cusses a little bit, but he don't drink. He don't dip and spit. None of that stuff neither. He don't like pills the way I do. But yet everybody wants to try to say we're the same person, which I find insulting. But I guess he does at least have pretty good podcasts, so there's that, if nothing else.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I can see the similarities, but like I said, yeah, it's two different people. Like, Gene's like a totally different person. I don't really know you like that, but Gene, just by looking at your podcast and look at you on EPW TV, you're not the Gene Jackson I know. I'm just gonna,
Hell
so.
no, I'm way better than him. I mean,
Well, I
I'm
wouldn't take
the
it that far
star of
either.
EPW. I mean, they said the TV ratings been going through the roof since Whitey Jenkins been on EPW. Me and the Violent Gentlemen's, all of them. Sanders and Morgan, Shane Mako. Shane Mako is going to be the biggest star in wrestling. He's going to be OWO champion. He's going to be EPW champion. Hell, he'll probably be WWE champion before it's all said and
I
done.
wouldn't take it that far now.
If we're being honest. Who's going to be? You think Shane Mako's scared of Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns or any of them? No, Shane Mako whoop all of them.
I mean, I'm glad you got. I'm glad you got confidence in your boy, but I like Shane Mako. I like Shane Mako. I'll be honest, but in far as I like him, and I think he could be a future EPW or future OWO champion. Maybe. I like his. But some of the stuff I seen on the EPW TV, because I just kind of wondered if you kind of may hinder him from doing that, but that's just me personally. And I just believe he's got a good look and got a good, repertoire, and I believe he can make. But now, as far as WWE, he got a long way for that for sure. But I think he will
Well,
make it.
I mean, I wasn't there, but he whooped up on that Carlito. It used to be on WWE. He was Intercontinental Champion. He's United States Champion. And if the referee hadn't cheated, he would have whooped Carlito right there in Amory, Mississippi for OWO. And he told me to tell you that if you ever bring Carlito back, once OWO gets back going, you ever bring Carlito back, that he will whoop Carl. He'll slash that wig off his head and whoop him right there in front of everybody.
First of all, that's not a wig, so get that out of your head. And second of all, that I admit that was a good match, and he just came up a little short. And like I said, Carlito's a good athlete, and that was a good match for him, and that was a good debut for Mako. And I believe that that's why I said he got big things. I believe he's got a bright future in this business, and I believe and I don't know if when or where or how, but I wouldn't mind seeing a part two of that match, because like I said, that first match was, I'll be honest, it was a good match, and like I said, he just fell short, and there's nothing there's nothing wrong with falling short. So, Carlito.
Well,
but I will keep that in mind, though. Thank you.
Like I said, I'm bringing him to the benefit in Smithville on the 5th, and you tell Tony Dabbs or whoever's making Neil or whoever's making them matches, whoever they put across that ring from Shane Mako is going down. You best believe that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good chance, and he's got a good look, and I don't control. I would say, I got some good people that I like to see him wrestle, but the benefits for me, so I can't. I'm sitting back and watching, but it would be good to see Mako versus the likes of Tony Dowd or Brett Michaels, even though we don't seen that EPW, and against maybe somebody like a Chris Styles or good agile wrestlers, people like that. Even Brian So Fine, even though he's a little funny, but that would be a good matchup. So I mean, whoever he goes against, I know it's gonna be a no pun intended, a 5-star match. And so, and whether he wins or not, that's a different story. I wouldn't, say he's gonna lose and win, but I would like to see him against some of them guys. So we'll just have to see what they got lined up.
Well, I mean, Brett Michaels might not even show up on the 5th because if you noticed, right about the time Shane Mako showed up at EPW, all of a sudden Brett Michaels ain't nowhere to be found. You don't see him no more because he don't want to get
Yeah,
back in that ring with Shane Mako. So when
yeah.
he
I
hears
think,
Mako's going to be in Smithville, he might not even show up. But all them
yeah,
people you name, Tony Dabbs, Chris Styles, Brian SoFine, Mako whoop all them in a handicap match, he'd beat all them.
yeah. I kind of hear you now. He wouldn't do that now. I'll be realistic. But anyway, yeah, I kind of hear your little comments. Y'all see the comment. Y'all stuck, Brett Michaels still calling him gun show. Y'all been calling him no show, Brett Michaels, and I seen the little comments and stuff like that. But
That's
that
good
it
stuff.
might be, but I mean that's what y'all want to call him, and that. But I think I think that will still be a good matchup, and like I said, any of them guys, there's a good, there's a lot of people on that card I seen that I would like to see him. He's got a good look and everything like that. He's got I think he would, if, as long as you stayed out of the way, will make a good OWO champion. Now, I've been watching you on the EPW TV, the TV, because I don't know if you do the regular shows or not, the live shows, because I don't never be there. But I seen
Me and
kind of how
Mako
you.
came to one of the live shows, and he
Mm,
wrestled Daniel Nova. And people tried to say I interfered, but that ain't true. I was trying to. Daniel Nova was stuck on the ropes, and I was trying to get him off there with my cane, and then I don't know,
mm,
something got crossed up. But one of them cheating referees made a
mm,
fast count, and that's why Mako lost to Daniel Nova, or else he'd have whooped Daniel Nova too. But we're gonna get all that. We're gonna get that referee fired, just like we're gonna get Joey Gross fired too. And I hope they
mm.
ain't gonna let Joey Gross announce at this show because
Well,
I'll have him removed.
I heard he was gonna be there because I heard about 7 announcers was gonna be there and stuff. But I heard he was one of them. So I mean, you got any beef with him? He'll be there. I
I
heard
tell
him.
you what. I tell you what. There is one good thing about that. All right. Now you want to raise some money at this benefit. Here's what you do. You let Gross Joey get on that microphone for about 10 minutes, and then you bring out a bucket and you say, if we raise enough money right here in this bucket right now, we'll kick his fat butt out of here and we won't let him do no more announcing. People will empty their damn wallets and pile that bucket full to get Gross Joey out of there. Guarantee you.
Well,
It'll be a great gimmick.
I wouldn't take it that far. Joey, I mean, I know y'all started this fire Joey crowd, but Joey pretty much he's well liked. I mean, he won the Announcer of the Year at APW. So I mean, he well liked. So it might. I believe we did a fire Whitey Jenkins deal. We might raise more money on that.
Don't you, hey, don't you start nothing like that. Don't even
But
talk like that.
so I'm just saying. I mean,
EPW would fold like a tent if they got rid of Whitey Jenkins. They'd have to shut it
no,
down within a couple of weeks if I wasn't there. The fans would riot. They would
uh,
tear the place down if I wasn't
They
there.
they would be celebrating. EPW been going on almost 15 years, when longest show in Mississippi, and they probably would celebrate you being gone because you have kind of tried to influence matches. You kind of do just like Jimmy Hollywood Jimmy Blaylock. Y'all kind of need to learn to know y'all place in the wrestling business, and that's not trying
That's
to
at the top.
cheat.
Our place is at the top of the wrestling business.
No,
That's
it's
where
not.
Hollywood Jimmy's a good, close personal friend of mine. Now, don't you get on here disparaging the good name of Hollywood Jimmy
No,
Blaylock. I'm not going to stand
yeah.
for that.
Because like I said, that's one thing I said. Man, I said, yeah, I want to watch Hollywood Jimmy gonna be at my benefit, but I appreciate him coming. But I don't want this crap when he want to cheat and do all this, use a chain and a cane and all. I don't want to have all that myself. And that's the same thing I'm gonna tell you. You got a good wrestler. You got some good guys that can wrestle. They don't need you to help them win a match.
Of course
So.
not. Hey, at EPWs, I'm always at the commentary table giving expert
Mhm,
analysis on the show. How
mhm.
can I interfere if I was over there doing commentary?
Because you walk
Right?
down, I've seen you, and so like I said, I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward, and I just hope you don't stick your nose in his business. Let the man wrestle his match. Let the man win on his own. All
I
you
wouldn't dream
do,
of it. I would
uh,
never dream of interfering. I'm just going to come out there. If he needs a little advice, he can roll out of the ring, and I'll give him some advice on how he can win the match fair and square without cheating or doing anything wrong. And I'm just there to make an appearance so all the fans will show up and raise good money for your benefit. If they want to, I don't usually associate with wrestling fans because they're kind of low class, if I'm being honest. I mean, just honestly.
And you
But
feel right
just for
along with
you, Dirty, because I like you, I'll be willing to take pictures with fans. I've autographs for $20. I'll sign something for you for $20, and all the money will go to Dirty. So
Well, I mean, I probably get one. And
just don't touch me. Don't let nobody touch me.
I
They can
mean,
stand as long as they stand a safe distance away. I'll take a picture with them. I'll sign an autograph for them, and that way they can say they met a big time television superstar. Like I
I
said,
mean,
I'm the star of EPW TV every time I'm on
okay.
there.
Hey,
Everybody knows
man, I
that.
don't know what world you living in.
And I mean,
You just
Gene
keep on
Jackson,
living your
he
little
told me he
fantasy
would have
world.
came to your benefit, but since y'all banned him from all the shows, he can't come. So he ain't gonna be able to be there.
Well, like I said, I mean,
Unless this
technically
technically
it
ain't
ain't.
an OWO show.
Yeah. So I mean, I would like to see Gene Jackson, and I would like to even have him do something with you and make sure But Gene is kind of he kind of don't he got his own way of thinking, so he probably wouldn't listen to me if I tell him to get a hold of you or something like that, and you try to interfere. But so he probably wouldn't go for it. But like I said, if Gene wants to come, the benefit I'll reach him because technically it's not a OWO show, so he's more than welcome to come back.
Well,
Come
Gene
from a bench out.
Jackson claims I owe him money for a truck I bought off of him like 4 years ago. And every time we're in the same place, he's always trying to track me down, trying to get this money he claims I owe him. So I kind of steer clear of him. So, I mean, if he comes, keep him away from me. Because if he comes wanting talking about money, we're going to fisticuffs right there at the benefits.
Mm,
It'll
okay,
get ugly
but I
real
like
quick.
when if I may reach out to Gene and see if he wants to come. If he wants to come, like I said, you know, I'll be glad. I ain't seen Gene in over a year. Since he left, almost a year now. So, but technically but how wrestling
Since
is.
y'all stole the title from him over there in Amory, the Amory screw
No,
job is what he told me it was. He said it
no,
was terrible. He said y'all cheated him. He was injured. Said he had his neck in a neck brace. He could barely walk, could barely stand. Didn't know his name. He had a 104-degree temperature. He had spinal stenosis and all this. And y'all forced him in the ring with old Brett Michaels and stole his belt off of him. That's
well,
what he said.
he was the one to volunteer because he didn't have to defend the title until the next show. But he the one that seen Brett. He thought Brett Michaels was hurt, and so he said, "If I can defend it now, I won't have to defend it the next show." Which little did he know, even if he had a warrant against Brett Michaels, I was gonna make him defend that the next OWO show anyway. But anyway, he wanted to defend that. He the one come up with that concept, and then he lost his match, and then he won't be mad because it's I got rid. No, you got rid of yourself. That's why I'm telling you it was Gene. I like him. I just think he's influenced. He gets influenced by wrong decisions by the people. But
Well,
I mean, I
he
hate it. I
told
like
me
him.
he's been checking his mail every day, expecting you to send that belt back to him. But
So
I
he's not
guess
getting the
now,
belt back.
since it got destroyed in the fire, I guess he can quit checking the mailboxes. Ain't gonna be no belt.
Yeah, yeah. I still got the plates. I sent him one of the part of the plate. Plate.
Look here, Mac
So,
Wallace says Brett Michaels is an underwear model, not a wrestler.
I mean,
There's
but
that.
but yeah. I don't know about that, but he's good. He's a heck of a wrestler. I mean, despite y'all calling him no show, Brett Michaels, he's gun. He's gun. They call him gun show for a reason.
Well, I heard they wanted all the violent gentlemen on Memphis TV, and Brett Michaels threatened to quit if we came up there
Well,
because
I wasn't thinking that
Brett
for him.
Michaels don't want the violent gentleman on TV because he don't want to get embarrassed and get whooped on the Memphis TV. And Dustin
Mm.
Starr don't want me up there because his old lady likes Whitey Jenkins, and then she'd probably try to go home with me or something.
I wouldn't take it that far. I mean,
I mean, I don't. That's just what I was told. I never met the lady. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, but
I mean, but
I'm pretty
I do
sure.
have that effect on the women's. You
Oh,
know.
I'm pretty sure, and I ain't with the funny stuff. Like I'm not like a Brian so fine, but I'm not with the funny stuff. But I'm pretty sure going from Dustin to you will be a major downgrade for her. So I just don't see that. But anyway,
Well, I mean, Don't go bringing your personal feelings for Dustin into this. I mean, look here, Mac Wallace backs me up. He says, that's what the star kid told me. So there you go. Mac Wallace ain't never told a lie in his life. And he's been around a long damn time, by the way. I mean, it's quite. And see right here, Mac said she had an eye for old Mackie too. So see, I mean, I can't bring Mac if I ever make it up there. I might just bust in on him. I might just show up there at Memphis sometime, bring the Violent Gentlemen. We just bust in the door, just whoop all the wrestlers up. There ain't nobody up there that can take on the Violent Gentlemen. None of them.
Yeah, well, judging by the EPW taping I seen, y'all got your hand handed to you one show, and then
we got cheated on the one show, but on the other show, in the 6-man tag, the Violent Gentlemen beat Memphis Muscleheads and Steven Styles in a 6-man tag.
How they do
That's
that?
all I'm gonna say because I can't remember if the others aired or not, but they won.
I remember that. But how they do that? It was some blatant cheating. But you remember, if you remember correctly, and I know you wasn't there, but if you remember the last, the OWO show, that the Violent Gentleman got handed to him just by Bret Michaels by itself. But,
Jackson told me that Bret Michaels was all in a roid rage or something, and it was a lot of cheating and crooked referees. Because I mean, y'all got that Mike Thrasher. He was on here last week. Everybody knows you can't trust him. He's a cheater from way back. So, but one more time, let's hit it in here. So we got Saturday, February the 5th, Smithville, Mississippi, at the school gym. And if you're a wrestler and you want to be on the show or you want to help out, contact Tony Dabbs on the Facebooks there, and he will get back with you and let you know what you can do and when you can do it and if you can do it. And then another big announcement we got here. Look at this, Dirty. Hold on. Next Wednesday, right here on the Whitey Jenkins show, my guest is going to be Vegas Joe. Look at there.
Oh, no.
Vegas Joe's going to be on here. He's going to be talking about, he's going to be coming up at the EPW Comic Con on the 29th of January, which Whitey Jenkins will be there too. He's going to talk about coming back to Memphis wrestling the 30th of January. And see, I'm going to talk to old Vegas Joe, see if he can't sneak me in up there. See?
No.
Me and him hook up. He's going to teach me. He's going to tell me how to get me a zoo. I'm going to make me some money over here in Alabama. I'm going to get me a couple of them tigers. I'm going to get me a couple of them buffaloes from that buffalo park over there in Tupelo if I can get them in the back of my truck. I'm going to make some money. Old Vegas Joe going to tell me how to get it done, see?
No, but Vegas Joe, I met him at Tupelo last year, and he's a pretty good guy. I don't think he's not like you.
Oh, me and him hit it off good. What are you talking about? He don't like me. Vegas Joe's gonna love me. We two of a kind, man. He's gonna help. He's gonna hook me up with how to get the zoo going over here. Look at what Charles Anders said. I saw Carlito and Brett were juicing before the show. That's how they stole the title from Gene Jackson and beat the Violent Gentlemen. They was all juiced up on them steroids and all that.
Yeah, first of all, Carlito definitely not on steroids, and I've been knowing Brett Michaels 15 years, and he's not on steroids.
Dirty.
I mean, he's not
dirty. Don't come on my show telling stories now.
I'm just saying, y'all.
You don't think Carlito ever?
No, Carlito, and I would think he'd be a little bit, and Brett Michaels definitely not on steroids. I don't know, y'all been listening to Jimmy Blaylock too much.
Dirty, I thought you went to church, man. How you gonna come on my show?
Y'all been listening to Jimmy Blaylock too much. He needs to be on steroids. Maybe he'll get in some kind of shape. Then I don't know where y'all start that with Brett Michaels, and Carlito definitely not on steroids. He's a good Christian man too. So, and so no, that's not true. But
Dirty, this ain't helping matters here. You come on here telling all these stories here right at the end of the show. I'm trying to get people to come out and help us do this benefit, and you just on here just outright lying in front of everybody.
No.
My goodness.
I got to put perspective in this show. I got to put perspective in this show. I can't, y'all going left field with it, and it's not, they're not, that's not true. Especially at my show, they wouldn't do it at my show, and I've been like,
Well,
But
Matt
do I do
Wallace asked you a
steroids? Yeah,
question
I've been
because
doing steroids.
do you do steroids? Because you got jacked up too.
Yeah,
You
I've been
got
I've
all
been doing
muscular
steroids
all
my
of a
whole.
sudden.
Yeah, I've been doing steroids my whole life. Yeah, sure have.
Yep. You and damn Curly Moe. Y'all stay all juiced up on them roids. It's terrible.
He stays off from hamburgers, triple cheeseburgers. That's him. But
You
that's
you
him. But
said it,
anyway,
not
I
me.
ain't talking about my brother.
That's your brother
But yeah,
talking there, Curly. That ain't me. I ain't said nothing about you.
but he don't die. He don't die. He's on a diet. Now that might be a good matchup, Mako versus Curly Moe. Speaking of, because he's on a diet right now. He's on the no meat diet for I think 21 days. So he's gonna be in pretty good shape come the benefit too. So he's on a diet right now.
Oh, he's gonna be
So
weak.
he's on
If he goes 21 days with no meat, Mako will just beat him like he stole something. You can't go 21
Mhm.
days with no meat and think you're gonna compete with Shane Mako. Give me a break.
Mhm.
Well, we in the overtime, Dirty. We
There's
got to
still other
wrap
stuff.
this thing up. So appreciate you coming on the show. I look forward to seeing you there in Smithville on Saturday the 5th. And like I said, I'll be there. If people want a picture, autograph from Whitey Jenkins, $25 a piece. I'll raise you a bunch of money. But I'm telling you tell Tony Dabbs I said this. If y'all want to make some money on this benefit, all y'all got to do is say, if y'all fill this bucket full of cash, we'll throw Gross Joey right out that front door, and y'all won't have to listen to him talk over his matches. And I promise you, folks they'll be going and pawning stuff to put money in that thing to get him out of there, guaranteed. Plus, if you make him pay at the concession stand, Gross Joey will put down some groceries too. Y'all get double.
Yeah,
Double.
you ain't lying about that.
Just make sure he eats out the concession stand out of business before y'all take the offering to kick him out.
Okay.
That's why I'm a promoter. I've been promoting outlaw wrestling shows for 25 years. I'll tell you, I know you've been doing OWO for 10 and you've done pretty well. You stick with Whitey, I'll tell you how to really, really, really make some money and be profitable.
Okay, I take that.
I didn't
I
mean
take
to
that into
say screw
consideration.
people over. That ain't what I'm about. But anyway,
Well.
all right. Well, you take care. We're gonna wrap this thing up because we're supposed to go 30 minutes, and right now we're 38 minutes. So our
Okay.
sponsors are all having fit.
I look forward to seeing you, man, at the benefit. So.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Okay.
There he is. Old Dirty. He's a good guy. I mean, he gonna sit here and say that Brett Michaels and Carlito ain't never done no steroids. Come on now. Come on. Anyway, let's promote some things real quick before we go. Coming up this weekend, January 14th and 15th, you can come see me at the Happy Hour Comedy Club in Anniston, Alabama. I'll be performing Friday night and Saturday night. If you can't make it the next weekend, I'll be back there on Friday and Saturday night, 21st and 22nd. So come see me do some stand-up comedy. If you can't do that, if you're over in Mississippi like Dirty is, well, come see me January 29th at that Corinth Comic Con. I'll be wandering around there meeting folks and taking pictures and signing and stuff, whether you want me to or not. February 19th, I'm at the EPW Arena. And just like we've been talking about this whole show, February 5th, Smithville, Mississippi. Come see Whitey Jenkins. And then tune in next week on Wednesday, 6 p.m. next Wednesday. Vegas Joe's going to be here. That ought to be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm going to get inside his head, find out how to get me a zoo started, and we're going to talk about where all he's going to be. Should be fun. So anyway, thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you next time.